Hey JC, what other thing are we going to talk about today? Hello, hello, hello. So today is August 24 and tomorrow is National Heroes Day. So I thought that it would be great if I talked about a hero in my life. And so I wanted to talk about somebody who's my work hero because I think I learned a lot from this person, and a huge part of what I am professionally is, I think, influenced by this person. So I'm not gonna name her because I didn't really get consent about making her the topic of my video today. But let's just call her Boss A. And and I know that people would already know who Boss A is, but I'm not gonna say her full name because I did not get consent. Okay, alright. So, Boss A is actually one of my dear friends at work, outside work. We've known each other for more than a decade because I joined the learning team in 2009. And so I've known her for around 16 years. And they say that once you're friends with somebody for more than 7 years, you know they're, gonna stick around. And so she's one of, proofs that that is somehow true. But her and I started as peers. We were both trainers. I think she was ahead of me by a year in the team. I think she was already a senior trainer around that time. I can't remember right now. It's been so long. But she was somebody who I kind of dreaded when we asked for feedback about our videos that we're creating, or new training modules that we worked on, because she would really give you all the feedback that she can think of, on the slides, on the topic, and even during the first rollout to evaluate the actual class. She would be there to ask the hard questions, and I dreaded that because most of the time that meant it was more work for me. But years later, I understood that, well, number one, we asked for feedback, and so whatever the work was, that was what she was gonna do. And so it took me a while to appreciate that, because somehow years later, I was also asked for feedback, or I was also given the task to give feedback to another person, whether it's a video, or a new curriculum, or a new module. So I think that I was influenced by her to give feedback when it's needed, when it's necessary. And then I think a couple more years later, from peers, she became a supervisor, and then a manager. And when she was a manager, I was a trainer, and then became her supervisor. And then when she became a director, I became one of her managers. And so I was always part of her team, wherever I moved. There were just some years when I reported directly to our then director, and then when I came back, I reported back to her. And so, well, long story short, for so many years I was part of her team, whether I was a trainer, a supervisor, or a manager. I would be part of her team in some way. And so, why am I highlighting her as my hero for today? Well, number one, I think that, and I'm borrowing this phrase. I think when it comes to modeling the way, she's that person who really exemplifies what model the way is. She would know where things are, hence her catchphrase, where it should be, anytime somebody asked for modules or documents or files. Whenever there are updates, she's the first to follow, she's the first to adjust, and so basically anything that's needed, she would do it. Whether it's an easy task or something difficult, whether working with a difficult client or a difficult leader, she would make sure that whatever needs to be done is done. And I remember in one of my coaching conversations with her, she would encourage me to always be ahead of the curve. If others are not doing it, make sure that you do it so that they see others are following. No time for, oh my god, I forgot the phrase, no idle time. I think that's one of the phrases that we used at work. And so there, modeling the way. Number two, I've never seen somebody who's so flexible. Me, as somebody who was resistant to change, and I think I sometimes am. But as a person who's very resistant to change, I think she's somebody who would really learn to adjust as quickly as she can, whether it's new leadership, a new account, a new member of the team. She would make sure that we're able to follow. Okay, when it comes to sensitivity, I think that she knows when conversations are sensitive, and she also knows when to be sensitive, right? An exact opposite of what she is a former leader that I reported to. And that time I was sick. And then I told her over the phone. So this is what the doctor said, and that I would need to go surgery for this. And then what the leader did was, I think she Googled, because she was asking for the spelling of my situation. And then she asked some questions when there was already a note from the doctor that I had to go through surgery. And so at that time, I was like, why am I being interrogated like this? Does she not believe? Did she not believe me? I just came from the ER, and I have the doctor's note, and I'm probably not somebody who's gonna make up, sickness or whatever, or a disease. And so at that time, I felt like I wasn't believed. And Boss A never did that to me. Whenever I was sick, just make sure that you are able to provide medical certificate, integrity, just the integrity when it comes to what you're feeling, and when you're absent, right? Just let her know that you're gonna be absent, so somebody will be able to cover what you're supposed to do or what you're supposed to be working on. And so yeah, very sensitive. I think that she's able to handle these conversations very well, and with confidentiality, of course. So I think that I appreciate that from her. Last, she's a fierce friend. She is, very genuine at work, outside of work. She is very candid with her, thoughts, her opinions, her feedback. She's very supportive. When I was out for how many months, I remember her sending a care package for me. I think some of those items that she sent, I still have. I think I still have some of the soap that she sent, some of the toothbrushes that she thought about that. And so still appreciate the gesture. Um, she's one of those few people who really went out of their way to show support or to give support to somebody who's super down. And she didn't just do that with me. I believe for some of our other team members, there are so many unspoken things that she's done. So many concessions, so many gifts that she has given to most of us without everybody learning about those things, and I think that's why I appreciate her so much. And honestly, if the at that time when I left, if the situation was different, I'd probably stay, because I know how much she was shielding us from the very bad situation at that time. So yeah, she's also that. She's very she really takes care of us, and she makes us feel protected. That's one thing. Okay, so I'm gonna list down the reasons why Bosse is my hero, my work hero. Number 1, she models the way. Number 2, she's very flexible. Number 3, she's a fierce friend. Number 4, she's sensitive. I think I interchanged sensitive and fierce friend. But there. So for National Heroes Day, she is my work hero. She's somebody whose company I enjoy. Even when I left my previous company, we still hang out. We're still friends. That's proof that, there's this connection between the two of us. And I'm sure that we'll stay friends, for the next years to come. And so that's it. That's my hero story. And remember, I'm here to remind you of the life you live and the life you love. Bye-bye.